Andy, we have the opportunity here to tell a lot of people about Challenge 66. I want to start off by asking you, what is Challenge 66?
Challenge 66 is, for me, the biggest challenge I've ever set myself. It's designed to bring the Guinness World Record for consecutive marathons to the UK. And in my research, I found out there are actually only 66 cities in the UK, 5 in Northern Ireland, 5 in Wales, 6 in Scotland, and 50 in England that have the World Charter.
So you're going to be running these 66 marathons on 66 consecutive days. What experience have you got to do such a challenge?
Well, that's a good question. Challenge 66 was actually born during a race in Namibia when I was running 78 miles in 24 hours through the oldest desert on the planet. It was an extremely tough race, and I just kept thinking, well, what could be tougher? What could be my next challenge be? Well, every extreme endurance event I've ever done, I've always supported a worthy charity that was close to my heart. Choosing the charity, I always was looking for a charity to support. I just didn't necessarily know which military charity I was going to choose. And the credit lies with you for helping me to decide on the Soldiers Charity. Perhaps, let me ask you a question, Barry. Why were you so passionate about ABF, the Soldiers Charity?
Well, as you know, Andy, because we first met in 1983, I've been in the military, or was in the military for 27 years in the army. The majority of people who have served within the forces want to put something back, however small that may be, or whichever manner they do it, they want to put something back. And I have always been passionate about the Army Benevolent Fund, the Soldiers Charity. We need to look after our soldiers, both when they are serving and when they leave. The ABF, as it was then, the Soldiers Charity, provides excellent support to our soldiers and to their families. And so for that reason, I get very passionate about the Soldiers Charity. And I think the event that you're doing not only allows us to raise a considerable amount of money for them, but also allows us the ability to spread the word. Is there any sort of link between what you're doing and the Soldiers Charity?
You're absolutely right. There's a great synergy in the sense that this is the 66th anniversary of the ABF, the Soldiers Charity. They've been around for 66 years now, providing that sort of support. We're going to be taking on 66 marathons in 66 days in 66 cities. So we know what Challenge 66 entails for me, Barry, as far as the difficulty of it's concerned. But to be honest with you, I believe that I've got by far the easiest job. What does Challenge 66 hold for you as a challenge?
I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and I can never imagine myself running a marathon, let alone 66. So the challenge for me is to making sure that you're in every city on the day you're supposed to be there and have all the support for you. And the challenge we're setting to the cities is to raise £1,000, minimum of £1,000 per city that you run a marathon in. So what we'll look at doing is putting it in a league table, and we'll challenge the 66 cities. You're in a league table. Let's see where you're going to be on that league table when we finish the 66th marathon in York. Can you just talk us through some of the work that we've done already in looking at how we're going to achieve that for you?
We've had some tremendous support so far, Barry. I mean, we've been given some great support in supplying a mobile home, a 6-berth mobile home, which we're going to use as the battle bus, and it's going to be liveried with all the sponsors' logos, which I think is fantastic. And I think the main challenge we're going to face with this, or I certainly am going to face, is the accommodation from a recovery point of view. I don't want to be sleeping in the battle bus for 66 days, but, if we could get a hotel chain to come on board that would help us in supplying accommodation in some of the cities where we're visiting, that would be tremendous, because I think I'm going to have to experience this ice bath phenomenon, which I've never tried before, but I understand is very good for recovering in the legs.
Okay, Andy, so you've talked about the 66 cities, you've talked about the 66 marathons, we've talked about the charity. But when are we starting and when are we finishing?
That's a good question. The first marathon is on the 16th of March 2011, and it starts in Leeds. And 66 days later, the final marathon is on the 20th of May in York. And that coincides with my 50th birthday. So if you're going to go 50, Barry, you might as well do it in style.
Brilliant.